Hello, what makes yoga authentic? And that is really the question here. It's not a very easy one to answer, though. The obvious thing to do is to look to the past. But the problem there is that lots of things keep changing. And what we think of as yoga today, performing postures on mats, is a modern phenomenon. Rewind a few hundred years, there weren't even any sequences. And go back further than that, and the only options are basically to sit like a stone or do something very painful for a very long time. So, where does this leave us? Well, obviously, here we are in the modern world, and practices keep developing, and some of them maintain a connection with tradition. But what does that consist of? Well, that's what we're going to dive deep into in this course. It's really a unique combination of the sort of knowledge you find in the scholarly world and the practical inquiry that leads to, yogic knowledge. And we'll therefore be needing to do some thinking for ourselves. And in order to do that effectively, it helps to borrow some of the academic training, particularly critical thinking, standards of evidence. Otherwise, it's very easy to mislead ourselves. And that's really what we're going to get here. It's a comprehensive overview of all the different phases of yoga's evolution, combined with opportunities to talk about how we relate to that. So that really draws on the best bits of what I've taught in other contexts, including at SOAS, the University of London, and the Oxford Centre for Hindu Studies, but anchoring it all in practitioner priorities, because we'll be speaking together. It's the kind of opportunity to have insightful conversations that really ought to be on offer at every yoga center, but is perplexingly difficult to find. So by coming together, we'll have an opportunity to draw on our collective wisdom and experience, as well as tapping into the vast world of yogic tradition. Some might therefore say, you're just going to sit around and talk, and yoga's all about practice. What's the point? Well, I would disagree with that point of view. I think actually there's a lot you can gain from sincere intellectual inquiry that's informed by some of the wisdom that traditions have to offer, but also, sharpened in focus by making wise choices. A deeper understanding of what works is what bubbles up from that, as well as why we might engage with it. So it becomes a lot easier then to start answering for ourselves how we relate to the past in the 21st century. Otherwise, there's a danger that we fall into the most common pitfall of all, which is basically to make stuff up and then source it all back to Patanjali so that we feel a bit better connected to, you know, ancient ways. And I don't think that's very helpful. I think really the more helpful thing to do is to be honest. To be honest about the distinctions between what texts say, which first of all requires us to know what's in them, and then also, how we relate to them now. And once that distinction is clearer, if we're actually interested, we can start to find connections with traditions that bridge the gap. So that's what's on offer here. It will help us all to feel a lot clearer about what to prioritize and why, whether that's in terms of teaching, practice, or much more broadly, just how we relate to our everyday lives. Where else would we want to be more effectively authentic? It's really up to us. And that's what this course is for. It's to allow us all an opportunity over an extended period to develop our own ways of seeing things. And the culmination is to tie it all together in a final project that helps to articulate this. So you'll get, fine tuning in your ability to communicate this information in whatever form speaks to you most clearly. So we start soon in September. And I can't wait. I'm really excited. It's allowing me to draw on the fruits of what I've learned from a life of inquiry, whether that goes way back into the past, at the time when I was first dipping my toe into the yoga scene as a foreign correspondent, or more recently, in my modern manifestation as a yoga nerd. So come and geek out with me. We're going to have fun.